Hello, hello. This is Patty Joe. We're on day 3 going through Detective Casey's thing. I am so sorry about my sound. I know it's off, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to wash some tennis shoes, so I'm drying those with a heater, and my dishwasher's going, and then you'll hear the puppy too. You're going to hear all the ambient noise. I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. But this is the way it goes when you're broke. Just trying to keep going, learning what I'm doing, saving up some money for a new audio interface, and we will just keep booking along here. All right, so this is Darrell. Darrell's trying to cross-examine Detective Casey, who was the first person making contact with the vehicle. Keep saying the horn was honking itself and all these other ghost things, and I'm not Darrell, and let's just... Who is you? That's the other thing that's come up, and grounds.
Were you injured in any way attempting to stop the vehicle?
I was not injured when the...
Okay, so we stopped kind of in the middle of things, so let me recap just slightly. He's questioning him about when he was pounding on the hood, when Detective Casey, he was pounding on the hood of the vehicle, and the vehicle kept moving through him. I actually was hurt in an incident like that where my hip has never been the same. So slow moving vehicles that are 3,000 pounds, they hurt, okay? So he's lucky. But yes, Darrell kept driving and kept going because he's entitled and narcissistic, and he's now trying to say, are you a claimant, and who is you, and who's the plaintiff, and how can the state bring criminal charges against me for running over people?
vehicle
Ugh,
when I was trying to
Darrell.
stop the vehicle.
Darrell.
What did you do after attempting to stop the vehicle?
Got on the radio.
I first got on my radio and advised the other units that were in the parade route that Red Ford Escape had...
Okay, he's sorry, I keep doing it when his eyes are closed, but he keeps saying, let me translate. I got on my radio, because it's the first thing you would do is reach for your radio, and told him that some nut job was driving through the parade and refused to stop to try to warn them. So all these people have got to feel like a total weight of guilt on this.
Went past my position. I requested additional squads be sent 1039, which means red lights and siren. Shortly after that, I began running after the Ford Escape in an attempt to stop it, but the vehicle sped up to a speed that I couldn't keep up with it until it hit the next position.
Okay, so as a runner, as a person who used to do parades in her past, as a band member and a dancer and a color guard and things like that, I will tell you, parades move at about 1 to 2 miles per hour. 1 to 2 miles per hour, and there are stops based on performances. So like the Dancing Grannies may have stopped it, the Extreme Dance Group may have stopped and done a small performance and moved on, and all of those things are planned, but we're talking 1 to 2 miles an hour. At the time he made first contact with Detective Casey, he was going 3 to 5 miles an hour. So he was moving through all of the staged people who were just still getting ready to go onto the parade. And then as he moves through him, he speeds up really to probably a pretty, well, we find out later it's 30 to 35 miles an hour.
Reading from the transcript, page 18. Do you recall?
Page 18. Do you recall?
Do you recall us making a statement? Initially, I began. It's sort of what you just said. Initially, I began chasing after the vehicle to try to get it to stop. And as I was following behind the vehicle, I could see that it was on the north side of the roadway, at times beeping its horn. Would that be fair to say that you made that statement?
That
It's on the right side.
So even after you attempted to stop the vehicle, you still observed the vehicle beeping its horn?
The vehicle doesn't beep the horn. The driver presses the middle of the steering wheel to engage the horn. The vehicle doesn't beep its horn.
I heard the vehicle beeping its horn after it passed me.
Ugh.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Fervor. No fervor.
Yes, just briefly. I'd like permission to put up Exhibit 120 again, Your Honor. It's already been admitted and published.
We're going to pause to see if we can see it.
Detective Casey, is Exhibit 120 on the screen now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Darrell. Let me make this big. Darrell. Ray Charles could see. No disrespect to Ray Charles. But Ray Charles could see you in this picture. You in the driver's seat. And quite frankly, I think that officer might be right. I don't know if this is a reflection or if that's just not tinted also. But we'll have to see the vehicle standing still. But yes. Oh my God. Okay. Let's see what she has to ask.
And you've been asked here today several questions from Mr. Brooks about what you saw as the vehicle passed you. Is that correct?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name, and I do not know the person that you refer to.
Interruption.
Objection is noted. It's overruled.
Yes.
Is Exhibit 120, well, strike that. Do you know where on the parade route the vehicle was located when this screenshot was captured?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I do.
Where?
Approximately the 200 block of West Main Street. The building directly opposite the Forescape is 234 West Main Street.
So, do you know means it can't be hearsay because she's asking that person, does he know? And he can see by the picture where it is.
You were back at the intersection of White Rock and Main Street, correct?
Yes, I was.
So about how far was it from where you saw the red SUV with Mr. Brooks driving to where this photo was, where this video was taken, and this is a screenshot from that video, correct?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name.
She didn't
and I
say
do
the
not know
name.
The individual by who you refer to.
Your objection is noted.
I'm sorry to keep doing this, but how many people think for him to keep objecting to that, which is just an interruption, it's not really a legal objection that I can hear as a layperson, but he is just drawing attention to it. And who said that we were calling you that name? We're calling this person that name. Right here. Right here. We'll connect that it's you. Don't worry about it. Who is you?
May I answer the question?
I would say that it's approximately 0.2 of a mile for me, a very short distance.
Okay. Was the appearance virtually the same from when you saw it to when this screenshot was captured?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, it was.
Are you able to see the driver of the vehicle in this screenshot, sir?
Objection. Hearsay.
Hearsay?
Yes, I am.
Can you see the
He's
hair
trying,
of
at
the
least.
driver in this screenshot,
Nope.
sir?
You cannot see his hair.
As the vehicle went past you, back at your post on White Rock in Maine,
I'm going to stop there. I'm going to make a side note. All of these people who are wanting to make a stand on gender affiliation or whatever it is that they are doing, that you can misgender and you shouldn't assume gender, this is going to be a very slippery slope, dangerous thing in courts and medical and things like that. There has to be a baseline to move from, and if the person is wrong, please make corrections in that way. And I'm sure that the majority of people are going to just respect your wishes, okay, no matter what they think. It just doesn't matter. But in this case, you know, Where would that go? What a mess.
What were you focused on?
I was focused on the driver's face when it was driving past
Face.
me.
Okay. You told us on direct examination on Friday you were able to pound on the hood, correct? Were you directly in front of the vehicle at that point?
Objection. It was also, he also said in his testimony on Friday that he can identify the clothing. He specifically said what the color of the
You're
clothing
attempting
was.
to testify. That's not a proper objection. As to the specific objection, it's overruled, and Attorney Opper may complete her question.
Where were you positioned when you were pounding on the hood of the SUV?
Objection.
Overruled.
And by that, I don't mean the street, I mean where on the car.
I was directly in front of the vehicle by the left front bumper.
Did you have to step out of the way to avoid being struck?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
The vehicle came in contact with me. As it was pushing through me, I shuffled my feet to the side, and then I continued down the side of the vehicle where I came directly in view with the driver's side window.
Okay. So you would have been, what was the driver doing as it passed you,
Objection. Irrelevant.
as he passed you?
Overruled.
Objection. I do not consent to being called he.
There you go.
Initially,
That's kind of what I'm talking about. I don't consent to being called he. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't fully understand everybody's position. I'm not fully sure where I land in this because I have people close to me who have different views than I do, or just different experiences than I do, but baseline, an individual with that much facial hair is generally male. Could be different. I mean, some women have some facial hair, but we need to have some sort of identifiers. We do.
he was staring straight ahead, and as I was pounding on the driver's side window, he turned and looked directly at my face.
Okay. And
Spooky.
the reason you were pounding on the hood and pounding on the driver's side window is what?
I was trying to get the vehicle to stop.
No.
Did the
Bad
vehicle stop?
testimony.
The
No.
vehicle never stopped.
Did the driver make any effort to pull over or pull off the parade route at that
Nope.
spot?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
I initially chased after the vehicle, trying to get it to stop. I could see the vehicle driving until it crossed Barstow, where it first made contact with people. The vehicle sped up, and I never saw it slow down or stop until I lost view of it as it crossed Barstow Street.
Okay.
The faces. What are the faces for?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. You may step down. State may call its next witness.
Thank you. The state would call Officer Bryce Buttrin.
Officer, please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right up a riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
First is Bryce, B-R-Y-C-E. Last is Butryn, B-U-T-R-Y-N.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, how are you currently employed?
As a police officer with the City of Waukesha Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer?
Approximately 5 years.
Were you on duty on the date of November 21, 2021, sir?
Yes, I was.
And what was your duty?
I was assigned to a traffic control post for the annual holiday parade.
And what time did you start that afternoon?
I believe it was approximately 3 p.m.
Okay. And you were given a specific assignment of an area to patrol along the parade route?
Yes, I was.
Where was that location?
I was initially assigned to East Avenue at Arcadian Avenue, and I had repositioned to East Avenue and East Main Street.
Okay, I'm gonna actually ask if we could please put up Exhibit 1.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna give you a pointer, sir, if I may.
Yeah, if I could have Deputy Whittick come get that from you, please.
Thank you. It's on the big screen behind you. I'm gonna have to ask you to use the pointer and just point out these locations, please, so.
Is that expandable? Does he need to
Yes.
open that up? All right, thank you.
I'm going to turn it down a tiny bit.
Okay, you told us first you were monitoring traffic at East,
She has a very projected voice.
Street and Arcadian Avenue, is that correct?
Yeah, so I was at East and Arcadian, which would be right here.
Okay. What
Okay,
was
I
your
don't know
purpose
where
in
that
working
is.
that location originally?
Originally, it was to prevent any northbound traffic from entering the parade route onto Main Street, so
So
to
somewhere
divert
down
any
here?
traffic from East Avenue to travel eastbound on Arcadian.
Okay. And then you said you moved up?
Correct.
Where did you go at that point?
I had repositioned my squad, which was a marked police SUV, to the intersection of
I do not have any idea. Let's see, I can't.
Northeast Avenue and East Main Street.
It's there.
When did you make that move?
Okay.
From what was the parade lineup that we had when there was approximately 10 spots left that we had thought, which was inaccurate at that time.
Okay. So as the parade was starting or
As the parade was nearing the end.
nearing the end? Okay.
So
Okay,
as
so
the
that's- yes.
staging area was emptying. Ugh. Now again, just functioning of a parade, you would have a staging area where there's really hundreds of people because a band could be large, that could be 100 people right there, and 10, say even a small parade. This sounds like it was a pretty big parade. So the staging area is going to slowly filter in, and then at the end of the situation, there's going to be another staging area where they collect to disperse, which is probably way more chaotic, quite frankly.
When you got up to near the parade route, did you just stay in that area, sir, or
Yes, I did.
were there any other officers present in that area?
Yes, there was.
And were you just watching the parade and monitoring the people?
Correct.
At some point, did something unusual occur?
Yes.
What was that?
There was initial radio traffic of squads being dispatched to what was initially coded as a man with a knife call. There was information that there was a fight occurring in Frame Park. And then after that, there was radio traffic that there was a vehicle that was entering the parade route.
Okay. And you were near the beginning of the parade route, as you just showed us, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you heard that information about a car entering the parade route, what did you do?
Based on the information that was available at that time and previous situations that had occurred, I unholstered my firearm and stood and began walking out into the road on East Main Street,
What were you doing?
trying to get the attention of the driver to divert them off the parade route.
Okay. And how far into the road did you go?
I was initially positioned right at the intersection on the south side of Main Street. I had made my way to the north side of Main Street, and I would estimate maybe 50 feet or so from the intersection of Northeast Avenue.
Okay. Were you able to visually see the red SUV at that point?
Yes, I was.
What was it doing when you first saw it?
The vehicle was traveling on the north side of Main Street, It was honking its horn, and I estimated the speed to be traveling at approximately 25 miles per hour.
What did you do?
I had raised my left hand and was telling the vehicle to stop, and the vehicle was ignoring what I was doing.
When you say raise your left hand, could you demonstrate that for us, please?
So I placed my left hand out in front of me, indicating to the vehicle to stop.
Okay. Were you dressed in a full police uniform, sir?
Yes, I was.
Just for the record, when he raised his left hand, I would say about chest high, was with a palm facing out as if in the stop position.
Thank you. Officer Buttrin, as you stood in that position with your hand straight out trying to stop the car, would you say the car was off to one of your sides or directly in front of you? Could you tell us the position of the SUV?
The vehicle was directly in front of me. I would estimate my position to be where the front license plate would be on a vehicle, so right in the middle.
And what distance was the SUV away from you when you did this?
I would estimate the vehicle was approximately 200 feet or so. It came extremely close to me as it was making its way towards me.
Did you maintain that same position that you just described for us?
Yes, I did, until the vehicle was getting to the point where I believed that it was going to strike me, so I moved out of the way.
Were you saying anything?
I was saying stop to indicate to the driver that stop the vehicle.
Were you saying that in normal conversational tone, or did you raise your voice at all?
I was yelling to get the attention of the driver as it was loud outside and it was cold, so I believe the windows were going to be up on the vehicle.
Okay. And your testimony is that you stayed in the position with your left hand extended in a stop motion for about as long as you could until you felt you had to move away to avoid being struck by the SUV?
That is correct.
If the SUV was coming directly towards you, did you step to the right or the left of the SUV?
I would have stepped to the right of the SUV, which would be the driver's side of the vehicle.
Okay. Were you able to see the driver of the vehicle as it went past you?
I was able to get a general description of the driver.
What do you remember?
I remember the driver to be a male black, wearing a gray or white shirt, and appeared to...
He is going to so lob on to that gray or white. The heather gray color of a hoodie doesn't make it a lie.
be wearing a hat or have their hood up.
Okay. Would you say you got a good look at the driver's face?
I would say yes.
Liar
I got
lines.
a relatively good look at the driver's face.
Okay. Did you observe any facial hair on the driver?
At that time, I did not.
I was looking into his eyes.
And did the car go right past you, sir?
Yes, it did.
Darrell, I'm gonna force his
As
tongue is in. Okay. Darrell's eyes are so empty and dead and lifeless, and I mean, he says he doesn't want to be seen as a monster, but he just looks like one. So to lock on face-to-face eyes with somebody coming towards you, and the detail that you can see from 200 feet as they're, you know, as your life is on the line because you're right in front of a moving vehicle, yeah, that's going to limit the details.
It went right past you. Did anything obstruct your vision to see into the car?
No, it did not.
Were you able to see into the car, the SUV?
Yes, I was.
Did you see any other persons in the SUV?
I did not. There was only one sole occupant, which would be the driver of the vehicle.
And again, for tint, because that'll come up, the windshield should not be tinted on a vehicle. Most states, I think, that I've dealt with, you can only tint to the A line, and the A line is maybe 8 inches from the top, and then the rest of the windshield is clear or very lightly.
As you were yelling at the SUV to stop and holding out the stop sign, did the vehicle stop?
The vehicle did not stop.
Thank you.
Did you see what the driver was doing as he went past you?
The driver appeared to be emotionless and was looking straight ahead, clearly ignoring anything that was to the sides of the vehicle.
Okay. Did you hear the vehicle honking its horn?
Yes, I did.
More than once?
Yes, multiple times.
As the vehicle went past you, what did you do?
I had lowered my firearm again to my side, and I attempted to grab the driver's side door with my left hand
Wow.
Why'd you do that?
in order to hopefully open the door and gain the attention of the driver to get them to stop.
Are you able to estimate the speed of the vehicle as it went past you?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled. He may answer.
Based on my training experience, I estimated the vehicle to be traveling at approximately 25 miles an hour at that time.
Were you able to get the door handle open?
I was not.
Did you get a hand on it?
I did not. The vehicle was traveling too fast to be able to do that.
Okay, you reached for
tried.
it but missed, basically.
That's correct.
Okay. This is the area where you tried to stop the SUV. This is before Barstow, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Did you continue to watch the vehicles that went past you?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
I had watched the vehicle and I began to chase after it westbound on Main Street.
On foot?
Yes, on foot.
Were you walking or running? What were you doing?
I was running after it.
Were you saying anything at that time?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
At that point, after the vehicle had passed me, I was not saying anything. I just began chasing it.
Okay. And you were running after it.
Yes,
Were you able to catch it?
I was not. The vehicle was traveling too fast.
Can you approximate the speed of the vehicle at this location?
After the vehicle had passed me, I appeared to have begun increasing its speed. The vehicle was traveling approximately 30 to 35 miles an hour.
Did you see the red SUV strike anyone?
Not between the intersections of Northeast Avenue and Northwest Barstow Street.
How about once it crossed Barstow?
Yes.
What did you see?
Um,
You can take your time. I'm sorry, I know this is a lot of questions, so.
I observed the
Oh my God.
vehicle swerving side to side. People flying from the vehicle, items flying in the air, things like that.
This is where he starts hitting people.
Do you know, Officer Buttrin, as you have to reflect on this in your testimony,
Look at that. That's actually a lot of emotion for him. He's not even listening to the fact that people are being hit, people are flying, things are flying, and this guy is truly upset. The guy in the stand, the officer. He's got nothing in his eyes. And this is actually a lot of emotion for Darrell. The eyes are the windows of the soul. There's no soul.
who was being struck? You remember a uniform or a description of any type?
There was so many things flying at that point, I don't know what was being struck.
Okay. Now, you were trying to keep up with the vehicle, right, on foot?
Yes, I was.
To be clear, there's no squad cars chasing the defendant's vehicle, correct?
Not at that time, no.
Okay, just officers on foot trying to catch up.
That's correct.
And at any point, did you see the vehicle just pull over to the side of the road and stop?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
From the time that I could visually observe the vehicle, I did not see it stop or pull to the side of the road.
After you saw the SUV strike other human beings, did you see the driver stop, pull over, and check on those persons?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
Whoa, whoa,
No, I
whoa,
did
whoa,
not.
whoa,
Vehicle
whoa,
continued.
whoa. Irrelevant? Did he just say that's irrelevant? Daryl. Daryl, can you prove that you have less of a soul? Can you prove it even more?
Was the driver of the SUV still honking the horn?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
From the distance that the vehicle had traveled away from me, I could not at that time hear what the vehicle was doing.
Okay. I'm gonna show a couple videos to you, okay, sir? First, I'm gonna ask for exhibit number 16 to be put on preview mode. Go ahead. All right. Do you see exhibit 16 on your screen, Officer Buttrin?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
It's on now.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Ms. Gussie to just play a few seconds so that you can make sure you're looking at the same clip that we've seen before. Okay, you can stop. For the record, about 3 seconds of the clip was played. Do you recognize this video clip, sir?
Yes, I do.
In the preview that you just observed, did you see yourself in the clip?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And I'm going to ask, excuse me, do you believe this clip is a true and accurate representation of your actions on November 21 of 2021?
Yes, I do.
Move to admit and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Objection. We haven't seen the entire video yet. How do we know what's in the video?
That is not a legal position as far as I understand. Lawyers chime in, anybody who knows more about law chime in. As a layperson, that is not a legal position.
The proper foundation has been laid, the objections noted, exhibit 16 is received, permission to publish is granted.
All right, for the record, it's a total clip of 18 seconds. I'm going to play it through once for the jury, and then we can break it down and ask you to describe further if we need to.
I think some of these things were avoided.
Officer Buttrin, is that the video, is that video consistent with the testimony you just provided about your efforts to approach the SUV and stop it?
Yes, it is.
We were not able to see on the video the part where you stood in the middle of the road with your left hand extended, correct?
That is correct.
But we did see you run from the right side of the video to the left side of the video and appear to be making your way down the north side of the street, is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that the location where you would have been when you tried to stop the vehicle?
Yes.
And then we saw you sprinting after the vehicle, correct, on foot?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to show you another exhibit 17, please. And again, we'll preview it, ask you to take a few seconds to look at it and see if you recognize it, okay? Okay, you can stop. Again, she just previewed the first 3 seconds. Officer Buttrin, have you seen this video before, sir?
Yes, I have.
Do you see yourself in this video?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe this video is a true and accurate representation of your actions on November 21 of 2021?
Yes, I do.
Do you happen to know how this video was recorded?
Objection.
Or
It's
from
relevant.
what camera? You're right, it's a vague question. From what camera this video was recorded?
Objection. Relevant.
Overruled.
This was recorded from the City of Waukesha Police Department squad camera
For your squad car?
for the squad car that was operating that night, yes.
Okay. Move to admit number 17 and permission to publish.
Objection. Actually, it's 4 seconds that was played, and we still aren't clear of the relevancy of this video.
Your objections are noted. The foundation has been laid. It's relevant. Overruled. Exhibit 17 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
All right, we're going to put it up. Before we play it, I'm just going to have you set the scene here. Can
A swing and a miss.
you, that's a touch screen in front of you, sir. Can you circle yourself in the video? All right, and next to it looks like there's a person in a yellow vest that reads police. Is that correct?
So right here.
We're referring to the officer giving testimony, not the officer that's present with them.
Overruled.
Yes, that is correct.
Who is that officer?
That'll be Officer Schneider.
Okay. And what's the crossroad here again, if you could just remind us?
This road.
Objection.
We'll start on the south side of the street.
The objection's noted. It's overruled. He may answer.
On the south side of the street where the squad is parked, that is going to be Northeast Avenue.
Okay.
Right here.
And on the north side of the street?
I believe that'll be Buckley Street.
Okay. So can you erase, you can clear the screen, please? Oh, clerk did it, thank you. Just kind of draw a line or point out where Buckley Street is. It's a little hard to see exactly at this moment, correct?
Correct.
You could just show okay. And as this video plays, you can see Buckley Street a little clearer as the people move, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, please clear, thank you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and play this in its duration. It's 37 seconds in length. There you go.
Correct.
He thinks he's got something.
All right, Officer Veteran, again, it's not a 100% clear shot, but you can see you making your way around the front of that white pickup truck, correct?
Correct.
That was one of the entries in the parade?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then you kind of go out of view behind that white pickup truck, correct?
That is correct.
Is that the area where you encountered Mr. Brooks in the SUV?
Objection. I do not identify by that name, nor do I consent to it.
Your objection's noted. It's overruled.
That is where I had initially placed my hand out in front of me and advising the vehicle to stop.
Okay. How far down that parade route did you run, sir?
I made it all the way down to there's a tattoo parlor, I believe the address is in the 400 block of West Main Street, so almost all the way down Main Street till it makes the curve and ends.
Okay. And you were not able to catch up to the SUV, correct?
No, of course not.
No.
But again, as you previously testified, the SUV had not stopped anywhere along that route, correct?
Objection. Already asked this question, and it was answered already.
It's foundational, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Correct. I never observed the vehicle stop at any point that I was making my way down the route.
As you were running down the route, did you encounter people who had been struck and injured?
Objection. Already asked question.
Overruled.
Yes, I did.
What do you remember about that, sir?
Look at how hard this is for him to answer.
There were multiple casualties on both sides of the road, varying degrees of injuries to people. The only way to describe it is just pure chaos. There was people pulling at me in multiple directions trying to help people.
Did you attempt to render first aid to some people?
Initially from the area of Barstow to the area of about Clinton Street. There was still an active threat of the vehicle, so I continued to chase after that vehicle to stop the threat. And then when I made my way to Clinton Street and westbound from there, began to render aid.
Okay. Some point much later in the night, are you aware that the vehicle that was suspected to have been involved in this incident was found on Maple Street, sir?
Yes.
Did you go to that area?
Yes, I did.
Did you take a look around the area where the vehicle was located?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to determine, well, strike that. Do you remember where the vehicle was parked?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled.
I do not recall the address in which it was parked, but I do know the position of where the vehicle was parked, yes.
Could you just briefly describe how the vehicle was parked?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled.
The vehicle was backed into a driveway at a residence on Maple Street.
And do you remember looking around the area where the vehicle had traveled near the residence on Maple Street?
Yes.
Do you remember finding a hat at that location?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to ask for Exhibit 92 to be previewed for the witness, please. Is 92 up, sir?
Yes, it is.
Do you remember seeing that item?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe this picture is a true and accurate representation of the hat that you observed in the backyard?
Yes, I do.
Move to admit 92 on permission to publish, Your Honor.
Objection, hearsay. How can we know for sure that that hat wasn't by somebody that lives in the building?
Mr. Brooks, you can't testify. You're attempting to do that. I'll instruct you not to. Your objection is overruled, and Exhibit 19 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
I'm sorry, it's 92, Your Honor.
Oh, 92. Thank you. Exhibit 92.
You remember seeing that hat in the backyard area, sir?
Yes, I do.
In fact, you remember asking the people at the residence if any of them owned that hat?
There was one male that came out that had taken a picture and asked the rest of the residents at that location if it was any of theirs.
And did it belong to anyone at the residence?
They indicated that it did not.
I'm going to stop it if they're going to be done.
Officer Buttrin, the videos that we saw, Exhibits 16 and 17, I asked you about that side road on the north side of the street, north side of Main Street, Buckley Street, correct?
That is correct.
Were there any barricades at that location, sir?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, there were, if I remember correctly, I believe there were 3 barricades.
And did they fully block the roadway at that location?
Yes.
If Mr. Brooks had wanted to leave the parade route, would he have been able to get out at that location?
Objection, I do not consent to that name, or nor do I know any individual by that name.
Your objection's noted. You may answer the question.
Yes, it would have been a reasonable exit point.
Would there have been anything other than those plastic barricades that would have blocked his exit from the parade at that spot?
Objection, hearsay.
It's not hearsay. It's overruled. You may answer.
No, the only thing that would have been struck was the plastic barricade.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say that having dealt with events from a paramedic side, plastic barricades are a reminder. They're not really something that would stop you. Cones and plastic barricades, anything like that, can be pushed out of the way from a vehicle that size. I've done it myself with the medic unit. Also, police officers are going to know exactly which streets are barricaded because they're going to have we all had written plans for every event that showed maps and where all of these things were, and sometimes as detailed as how many they would have across a certain street and or sidewalk and or running path, bike path, whatever, to help protect the area. And if I were in a medic unit on or near Main Street needing to go through that barricade for some reason, there are officers all around there who would know that I was coming that way by radio and have moved it for me, so I wouldn't have to push it out of my way. The other option is sometimes the other person in the ambulance would get out and move the barricade ourselves. So it's a one-person job.
Thank you. Those are all my questions, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stop it there and do it because I just need a break from this guy's testimony was a little bit heavy. Like I said, yeah. Let's just move on with that the next time we. So, we'll see what Darrell has to say about this. He had a lot of liar lines going on, so I know it's going to be interesting.